I did not think we were getting an X-Men movie for quite some time, but we finally have our Beast origin story. Is it good? What is up, Flick fans? Welcome back to my channel. I was talking about the wrong movie. This is Beast starring Idris Elba. I am curious to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. We're going to get into this film, whether or not it's worth watching in the theater, and let's do it. So a father and his two teenage daughters find themselves hunted by a massive rogue lion, intent on proving that the savannah has but one apex predator. This film is rated R for violent content, bloody images, and some language. And the concept of Idris Elba versus a lion is very intriguing. This is one of those trailers that I've been seeing in the theater for months, but I really didn't know all that much about this film or the emotional subplot that really does kind of get us ready for the madness that happens in the third act, and how that did do a nice job of making you feel for these characters, this father and his two daughters, someone who is just trying to reconnect after a tragedy with their mother, but they're placed in a situation that they do not anticipate, or one that they don't know whether or not they are prepared, or whether or not Idris Elba is cool enough to take on a lion. I don't think it's a similar movie, but you think of something like The Grey with Liam Neeson, or even the idea of building up that suspense with this beast. You don't know where the lion is at all times. You're constantly in danger. That reminds me of Jaws. I'm not making that comparison with the quality, but the concepts are similar, and it's something that's going to make you feel that fear, especially if you are afraid of a beast like this lion, one that is also going through something with its family, and there's a reason why this beast is so angry, and that kind of makes you feel for this predator. Our director here is Balthazar Kormaker. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Former director of a movie like Two Guns, and that's really the only major one I'm familiar with. That film was fine. It was fun, starring Denzel Washington and Mark Wahlberg. Hey, everybody. But he's not in this film. It really is up to Idris Elba to kind of carry this story. But you also have the two daughters who I thought did a really nice job when they are in danger, when they are in peril and things happen and they have to fix themselves up, help each other out in the process, being placed in a situation that they never imagined they would be in, while still emotionally reeling from what happened to their mother. They did a really nice job. Ayanna Halley and Leah Jeffries are our co-stars here. And you also have Charlton Copley, who is, I guess, partially the reason why they're in this situation. He's the one that they visit. I also like the idea of this family trying to emotionally recover from what just happened. And it turns into a game of survival, and surviving is something this lion has had to do. So it goes in all directions. You feel for our family. If it wasn't Idris Elba, I probably would have struggled a bit more than I did, because there are inconsistencies with this script and questions I had along the way, whether it be, running from the beast, leaving a door open behind you, not having a weapon when you probably should have had a weapon in that situation, and just logical inconsistencies as we went throughout the movie. I understand you're being chased by a huge lion. You're going to forget things, and you're going to not think about the situation that you're in as much as maybe you should, but it goes a step beyond that, right? Characters are in life or death situations, and they decide to call someone out for not being there for them, and I'm like, is this the time for that conversation? Decisions like that, I mean, all throughout the movie, where you're starting to compromise the intelligence, or what we perceived as intelligence, of our characters. You're dumbing them down to where they're making such horrible, and I mean dreadful, decisions in the second and third acts, and it did start to affect my enjoyment. Like, I am enjoying the filmmaking, what's going on while we're watching, but you start to think about these character decisions, and I'm like, why are you doing this? Why are you getting out of the vehicle and running when there's literally a lion outside? What is happening? Am I taking crazy pills? I also just didn't love the way that they wrapped the movie up. It felt so conventional and so by the numbers that it almost took away from some of that really intense buildup that we got. And again, that buildup is really nice, and I love the way that it made me feel at points, because when you are being hunted, when our characters are being hunted, us as an audience, we're going to get that feeling if it's handled correctly. And it was handled correctly from that standpoint. But visually, nothing spectacular. The lion looked good for the most part. There were a couple of scenes that did not look great. And the simplicity, while it helped it in moments, it also hurt it because maybe it was just too simple. And because of that, I was not as emotionally attached as I could have been. And without Idris Elba, if somebody else was in this role, I don't know how much I would have enjoyed it, if at all, because he is such a compelling performer, and the chemistry with the family was really good. So at the end of the day, I almost look at Beast like one of those B-movie action thrillers where characters make slightly dumb decisions and the script doesn't have all that much going for it. But when you look at the filmmaking behind some of these tension-filled scenes and the one takes where the lion is chasing our family, that was actually really entertaining, and the surprise of this movie is the amount of thrills. And if that's what you're expecting going into a movie like this, I feel like that's what you're going to get. Expecting more than that, well, you may be disappointed. So before I give you guys my score, I want to say thank you so much for joining. If you enjoyed this video and you want to drop a like, that would help me out a lot. I appreciate it. Beast runs with its simple story and provides an intense experience due to some solid filmmaking and a great lead performance. The big issues are the decision-making from characters and the conventional script, but the thrills may allow viewers to overcome. Personally, that decision-making kind of got in the way of my enjoyment, so I'm going a 54% with my score, but I can see a lot of people watching this as that B-movie type of action thriller that they enjoy because of that simplicity. So I think it's definitely worth going and checking out for yourselves. Come back, guys. More reviews later today and tomorrow. I'll see you soon.